Fortnite's best game mode returns. However, this time there's been a ton of quality of life changes, including the spawning system, tournaments, and loot pools, so let's just dive straight into it. Firstly, it's a trios only arena, so there's no solo arena, there's no duos arena. However, the trios does have a fill option, so you don't need to worry about if you're just playing by yourself, there's something you can play. Specifically because the ranking system is relatively loose. Last time the elo was really low, you weren't really getting paired against players that were that close to you in terms of like if you were champs, you're basically fighting against everyone. It was very loose matchmaking. Clearly it was just done for fast queues. Now there's a lot of changes with the actual game mechanics as well. Rift spawning is one of them, so rather than spawning in the battle bus, you're now spawning up in the sky 100 meters above the ground, and then you will auto deploy 25 meters above the ground there as well. This kind of spreads out players more evenly rather than everyone landing in the middle, so this does seem to kind of improve lag a little bit off spawn in arena, which is really cool. This also prevents people just staying really high in the sky during tournaments like I used to do here, because you could just see the next zone, stay up, so this is a really good fix for that as well. Now, there are some problems with this that they stated in their blog. There's some improvements they're going to make in the future, but they've just released late game instead of waiting for these to be fixed. So, hey, I appreciate that. So there's a 10-second timer while you're currently waiting to dive. And right now, you can't really do anything in that. But in the future, you'll be able to ping the location on the map without just kind of looking at it. And you'll also be able to rearrange your inventory. So, like I said, right now, these will be in the future. And it seems like this was just released in this state just to get late game out earlier. Now, there's also some zone changes as well. So you still drop down into the third zone, but the timings are a little bit different. So from when the game starts, there's only 20 seconds until the next zone shows. So in a normal game, that would be the fourth zone. And there's only 40 seconds until that storm actually starts to close. So this means you should get into the late game part of the late game much faster. We'll see if arena games are actually still that stacked or not though. When it comes to Storm Surge for stacked games, there is no Storm Surge. I've had confirmation there is 0 Storm Surge within the game. So that'll be really interesting to see how moving zones work with potentially more than 50 players in like really stacked tournaments, which we will come back to later. There's also an in-game scoreboard. So as I said, you can now check if someone's stealing all your elims or not, who's getting the assists, who isn't, which is super useful. And I hope this is something that also comes on into the main game mode as well. All right, now let's look at what everyone wants to see, the loot pool. They've said specifically with fresh gameplay thanks to a loot pool chosen specifically for competitive balance and improved performance. You'll spawn with some of the most popular weapons from items from previous chapters and seasons. So yes, as you can see in the title, the pump shotgun is back. So this is what the actual loot pool looks like. There's 9 total inventories, so your team, your trio can get one of 3 of these, and you in that trio can get one of 3 of those within that selection. So of course, one of the main differences now, rather than going from green to purple, the loot now goes from blue to gold. So it's upgraded 1 level, and there's a mix of every really chapter's weapons. The infantry rifle's in there. We still got this chapter's weapons, the striker pump, there's auto shotguns, and then you can go back to last season's. You've got the classic pump, gold in that inventory 3. You've got charged shotguns in there as well. There's flint knocks, there's shield bubbles, there's launch pads, there's bouncers, there's armored walls. There's really just a mix of a lot of the most balanced competitive loot. And what else do you notice? There's only 1 SMG per team. It's also in blue variant, so it's not in purple or gold, whereas a lot of the pumps and the shotguns that you've got in there are already much stronger. So very happy to see that the amount of SMGs are heavily reduced. And then on top of that, how can we not talk about tournaments? Right now, they've announced 2 different types of tournaments. There's Quick Cups and then there's also Cash Cups. So Quick Cups will feature only 1 round where they'll be racing to the top of the leaderboard for 2 hours and 12 matches to demonstrate skills. So it's basically just an open tournament, 2 hours, 12 matches, no cash prize. Then there's Cash Cups, which will feature 2 rounds. So this will actually be the first ever set lobby late game tournaments, which is really exciting. I'm going to put the calendar of the ones that are here already so you can kind of tell. There doesn't really seem to be any like every Monday it's this. There's just a ton of tournaments, which is very, very exciting for me. And the prize pool is very cool. It's the same on all regions. So if you're in Asia, you're OCE, Middle East, you better be a good late game player because there's some big cash up for grabs. So in the solo cash cups, it's going to be 1k for first, all the way down till 10th will get money. So remember, there's 60 players in. So top 10 making money is not too bad. And for trios, if you win, it's going to be 1,200 split across your trios, and then $600 second down till 5th. Which remember, it's out of the top 20. So you basically have to come in the top quarter-ish in the trios, the top 1/6 in solos. And at the same time, yesterday, the FNCS Invitational crowd was announced, so you can actually go to the event in person to watch. I've got the link down below in the comment if you want to pre-register up. You don't have to pay for the tickets yet. I don't know what they cost, but if you're interested in going and watching in person in Raleigh, click the link that's in the top comment. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and the next video I'm going to be covering on this will be 100 rounds with Phil with voice chat on.